So I only felt it was appropriate to wear red for this particular video, and we know why, because I'm going to test Tiger Woods' iron. It's the P7TW iron from TaylorMade, and the one that Tiger obviously had a lot of input in to get into his bag. The exact shaping, loft, feel, responsiveness, everything is all around sort of Tiger's feedback. Very particular on what he puts in his bag, and obviously this is the iron that Tiger used to win his 5th green jacket at Augusta a few weeks ago, which was an amazing comeback in the history of the game. So we're going to test this. Got GC quad on the floor as always, give you my personal feedback of the iron, and I just can't wait to get hitting it. Okay, so Tiger's P7TW irons from TaylorMade. Everything about this iron is basically Tiger Woods. He's very, very particular as he strives for absolute perfection of exactly how these irons look, sit, feel. The window the ball comes out of was a big thing that he very much sort of stressed on. He wants it to come out exactly the window he wants to see and hit that exact number he wants to hit for that particular iron. So TaylorMade really had to sort of bow down and just listen to the feedback, do multiple probably prototypes, I'm guessing, until they got it absolutely perfect. So every single iron is shaped to his specific liking. So these are very much a limited edition and available to purchase now, albeit there won't be many of these around. I think these will go pretty quick, but they are available to purchase for you guys. Also available in the fitting process, so you can get them custom fit to your spec, so shaft, obviously grip and everything, but also you can get them into Tiger's spec, and they come in a beautiful presentation box, which is stunning itself. They're not cheap, but it's a bit of a one-off, and I think a lot of guys will purchase these as maybe just to maybe put them on the wall at home possibly, and not even actually sort of play with them. So I'm going to hit some shots, give you some feedback with this, and I've got a 7 iron here, and it's 35 degrees of loft, so it's quite a weak, as you'd expect. You know, Tiger's very much looking for control, and real first instincts when I got this out was it's stunning, isn't it? It's a beautiful looking golf club, the high chrome finish on the back, the shaping of it. We've got that mill grind on the sole there. We've put it down by the golf ball, and first instincts when I put it down, it's not the smallest of looking clubs, which surprised me, but I think listen to what the sort of Tiger was saying. He likes that longer blade length from that heel to the toe. He likes that long blade length. It's a very sort of thin top line and very little offset on it, so it does look stunning. And the other thing I noticed as well was the grooves look very tight together on the club face. So sometimes you see a little bit more of a gap in there. It looked to be quite a tight sort of groove pattern. So let's get the first one hit. I'm about 165 from the green. As I say, it sits beautifully behind that golf ball. Very nice look, very classic look as you'd expect. Okay, that was a bit of a loosener open. That was a bit bottom groovy, but very accurate. Still done all right there considering the strike. The ones that you're definitely probably going to feel when you hit those on these particular irons. Again, forgiveness wise, there's not a lot of help on these particular irons, but there is some tungsten in there. You don't actually see it on there, but there's a sort of circle of tungsten right behind that sweet spot. So what's Tiger sort of saying there, he likes that sort of deeper, solid sort of feel of the club. So putting that sort of heavy weight right behind that sort of sweet spot is giving him that feel that he really sort of wants. And again, probably work on that launch window that he wants to see that ball come out on. That's a better one. Feel lovely. as you'd expect, forged iron, going to feel very nice, aren't they? Again, that's really accurate there. Okay, just slightly low on the face at the moment. Just sort of dialing myself into these. Accuracy wise, very nice to start with. It's a nice shot. Bit more into the ground there, got a little bit more distance on that shot because of the strike. Getting towards that back edge, that spun there. Yeah, about 6,500 that's spinning at. Just slightly pulled up that left edge, but it's hitting that green nicely. So this particular setup I've got here is the Dynamic Gold Tour Issue shaft, which I think comes as standard in these irons. Again, through custom fit, you can have whatever shaft you want in these heads if you want them to sort of built to you. But these have got the Tour Issue shaft, Dynamic Gold, which is what Tiger plays, and obviously the classic Golf Pride full core grip that he always plays with a logo underneath. So he doesn't have that logo on the top, so it's a very clean look from that top edge as he sets into that address position. That feels lovely. It does seem to come out a very consistent sort of window. Again, that's hitting that green very nicely there, very accurate as you'd expect from this type of iron. It's everything that this iron is sort of around is accuracy, control. You know, and obviously what Tiger wants to do, he's very much sort of playing shapes into all those extravagant sort of shots he plays from all those different situations he puts himself in. He wants an iron that can come out of that window when he puts that different sort of swing on it and control that loft coming through that impact position. So another real feature of these irons is the milled grind on the sole. So you see those little lines that run from the back to the front of the sole. And this is basically machine milled, and they're going to get it very, very exact. So ultimately what TaylorMade are doing here is producing an iron that is exactly the sole width and everything that's playable in that sole that Tiger wants, but it's consistent through every single iron in his bag. So milled grind, the precision of it just basically can get it more and more precise to, I don't know, what is it, like a thousandth of an inch, I don't know, whatever the measurement is, but it's just ridiculously precise. So if what Tiger was saying there, if he wears out the set, then he can get replacement, and he knows they are exactly the same, and that's the big thing for him. He doesn't have to go through that process of hitting loads and loads of balls again to find that, and you know, prototypes going back and coming in and to get that set that he wants. His feel is obviously incredibly detailed into what he can see and feel through a golf shot. Through the iron into the shot itself. So get that mill grind on that sole, gets it precise straight away. Oh, that's lovely. That's the best one I've hit. That felt incredible. Lovely ball flight. Again, it looks really consistent as it comes out that window. Comes in, stopping a little bit quicker. Yes, the spin was near up to that 7,000 there with that better strike. Again, you know, strike will always override things a little bit more, but I can feel what Tiger's sort of saying, that tungsten behind that sort of sweet spot. They're not the softest of feeling clubs. I have felt softer clubs, but obviously with that heavier weight tungsten harder substance behind that hitting area, it's obviously going to give you that harder feel, but that's exactly what he wants, and that's the idea of this. These are exactly his irons. Ooh, that's a little bit low in the club face. Just pulled fraction up that left side. Just going to hang on maybe. Just flown a little bit longer there. Just cut that touch clean. Okay, I'm going to hit one more shot and then we'll look at some numbers in a little bit more detail. Oh, that's solid. It feels so good. A little bit pushed after that. Just pulled that last one there, just fractionally pushed, but strike was lovely there. And that, again, that stops pretty quick coming into that land. Yeah, that's spinning just over that 7,000 mark. Okay, one of the big quotes I like, what I saw Tiger sort of say is basically this club is designed from every shot he's hit, every event he's played, every victory and every major in his 22 years as a touring professional is basically in these irons, which I love that quote. Everything about this is basically just Tiger Woods. Need I say more? Right, let's go and check some numbers out in a little bit more detail and see how this P7TW iron is working. Okay, so looking at some numbers, so we can see ball speed at 119, so it's not the quickest and it's not supposed to be the quickest with that 35-degree loft. See, the first two I hit, the 115, 117, they were the sort of two bottom groovy sort of shots there. So obviously that's dropping a bit of ball speed there. But after that, we've got the strikes fairly consistency, 120, 120, 120, 120, 121 and a half. So very consistent of how that ball's coming off that club face. Again, Tiger doesn't want any of those flyers coming off of there. He doesn't want that freaky one at 124 speed. Obviously, he probably gets a bit more speed than me, having said that. But he doesn't want that, you know, that freaky one that comes out that's going 4 miles an hour quicker or whatever, and then flies that extra sort of 8-10 yards. He doesn't want that. He wants to hit a number, doesn't he? So, looking at launch coming out again. Good small window coming out short of that 19-degree mark, spinning on average at 6752. So typically would see 35-degree loft iron in that sort of area of spin. Again, the first couple just dropping down a little bit, possibly through that strike there, but you see the really good strikes gets it around that 7,000 mark, just creeping over. So really good control when that's coming into land. So look at the carry distance here. Again, it's not built to be a strong hitting golf club. It's all about control. So 166 carry clearly isn't my longest carry out of irons I do reviews on, but again, the loft is at 35 degrees, so it is really weak. So it's typically a distance that I would expect. So you're touching up to 169 on those, maybe those better strikes. So again, just missing out those first two, which are caught very low in the club face. After that, you can see I'm ranging from 166 to 169. So there's a front to back dispersion of only 3 yards there. So again, it's tight, it's consistent on some fairly decent hits. Yes, you're going to get punished with that type of iron with it being a blade. Miss hit, you are going to get punished, and I did a little bit more in those first few shots. But clearly, you know, Tiger is a very good ball striker. Right, okay, so that's one very, very special iron. As I say, I think a lot of guys who would purchase these, they're not cheap. I think over in UK, they're roughly around £2,000 for a 7-iron set, I think, off the top of my head. So you can either have 3 to wedge or a 4 to wedge, so you can get an 8-piece set also. So they're not cheap, but very much a sort of collector's item, I would probably say, more than anything. So I think a lot of guys would buy them, just keep them in the box, and just to say they've got a set of Tiger's irons, and maybe have them just in Tiger's spec. And obviously just not hit them. Other guys, obviously, you can get them custom fit, so to play with yourself. We've actually got one set coming to Live Golf Academy as stock, so we do have one set coming. I think from that, I'm not sure how many sets are left with TaylorMade already, to be honest, so I think these will go pretty quick, in all honesty. But we do have a fitting iron. You come and obviously hit it. And obviously we can fit you in terms of shafts. You'd have to do it through the P730 head. In terms of trying different shafts, because they don't offer it as an interchangeable fitting iron like you do on a lot of the fitting carts, or the TaylorMade fitting cart, for instance, where you can swap shafts in and out. It's just it's such a limited head. There's no point actually doing that process. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. P7TW, Tiger's iron, down to his very personal look. Let me know your thoughts below, as always. Let me know about his comeback at the Masters. It was incredible, wasn't it? What a player, what a time to do it. And how cool did he look doing it? That was my thing. He just didn't look out of place, you know, from going back in his height of his career when he was winning a lot of majors. It just looked exactly the same. Didn't look out of place at all. So amazing story, an amazing comeback, and amazing player. So thanks very much for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed, obviously please hit that subscribe button. Very much appreciate it. Follow my social media platforms, both Instagram and Twitter. Both handles there are at MN Golf Coach, and hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.